everybody, and welcome to Argos High School and the beautiful Phil Waybright Gymnasium. Welcome to tonight's coverage here on RTC TV4 of Argos Dragons Volleyball. Steve Stricker here alongside Chris Stevens. Say hi, Chris.
How you doing, Steve?
Got a little cross-training going on here this evening. The Argos Lady Dragons volleyball team welcoming in the Culver Community Cavaliers. And Chris and Mike Bushman are here. They're doing some training. We're working with Culver, of course, and getting everybody going over that way with the crew. We've done a couple games over there. You guys did a nice job the other night. I was just listening to the call from the Knox game, and I thought you and Shane did a really good job. It was fluid. You know, for Shane, he didn't talk too much, so that was a good plus, right?
Well, that depends on who you're talking to. But no, when it's I appreciate the compliment. But when you get to sit and talk about high school sports, that's something that we really enjoy.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Cavs, you know, they just ran out of steam there in the second half, and you know, they put up a good show in the first half, and you know, you're going up against a 3A school in Knox, and they just have the power, and the Cavs just have so many kids that are getting banged up. And Coach Zahner, you know, I've been very impressed with, you know, what he did down in Rochester, and then of course coming back home to Culver 3 years ago, and he's really taken the big picture role, right?
Absolutely, and then we talked about it a bunch on Friday night about with the injuries and having to move some people around, playing a new position for the first time all year, or at least in a game setting. And no, he is a big picture kind of guy, and he's taking the positives out of every game and continuing to work with the kids all week to get ready for Friday night.
Got a big one coming up over there on Friday with West Central coming in. West Central's having a better year than they've been the last couple of years. I think they're 2-1 coming in.
Putting up some points.
Yeah, so it'll be a challenge there at home against West Central. Cavs still looking to get on the win column on the season. So you can tune into that one on Friday on RTC TV4. And the Cavs and Dragons coming in here. Dragons, you know, they're struggling this year. They haven't won a match yet. I don't know. Tell us a little bit about what you know on Culver.
Well, Culver coming in under the direction of a new coach, Andrea Barrett, and JV coach Angie Schmall, after Ross Minnix, or Amanda Minnix, as many of you might know her, finished her 17th year at Culver. We appreciate her service. The Cavaliers are 4-6. I just asked Mrs. Barrett that right before the game started. They're 4-6 coming into this competition, and had a lot of growth, a lot of work in the summer, a lot of long practices in the preseason, and really working a lot with the youth program. So she's building it up from the bottom.
Well, I can't believe that Ross was there 17 years. I knew she was there for a long time, but that's crazy. So yeah, it's you know, always good to get some new perspective on things, and you know, there's some good athletes coming up in the younger groups. You know, I watch more basketball obviously than volleyball, and you know, Culver's struggled in the last couple of years, but you can see the talent is there, and I think this year, you know, for them is going to be a good year. They're going to put it together, but they've got some really good athletes. Of course, Madison Shedrow and Temmie, and you know, there's a lot of good athletes in the you know, junior, sophomore, freshman age range.
Absolutely, lots of good things coming up for the Cavaliers. I know Andrea is not looking into the future, but we are looking into the future for her. I know she wants to see improvements right now, but yeah, absolutely some talent. You got your senior Sarah Morrison, number 4, who's really improved this year, is a big hitter and is a nice addition to the team. And then you got Jenna Moyes also, and as you mentioned, Alex Temmie. And we have an exchange student from Norway, Emily Solstad, and then number 14, Alyssa Starr-Kinyan-Jui, who is injured at the moment.
Yeah, and they're missing their big hitter on the front line there with Emma Kruger, who unfortunately tore an ACL over the summer in a basketball game. she's a big, strong girl that would, provide a lot of front power on the line for the Cavs too.
Absolutely. She was starting to hit the ball really hard last year, so, if she were to go uninjured, there's no telling where she might be at her game right now. But she's done a great job of being present in everything, being a good teammate. Even though injured, she's at every practice, at every game, being a good teammate.
Yeah, I hope for her speedy recovery. Tom obviously went to school with us,
yes.
Played basketball and football with Tom, so hope for the best for her recovery. And it stinks missing a year if that's what it ends up being, but hopefully she'll come back bigger, better than ever. So we got about 9-10 minutes. We'll just let you guys kind of take a shot here of the crowd or the floor as they warm up, and we'll come back here with Argos Dragons volleyball here on RTC TV4 in about 9 minutes.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by these local sponsors. RTC Fiber Communications. Stay connected with the fastest internet speeds available with RTC Fiber Communications. Voice, data, and video connectivity for the 21st century. Local service, local support, local investment. Online at rtc1.com. First Federal Savings Bank is your local mortgage lender with 6 locations throughout North Central Indiana. Trust the professionals at First Federal Savings Bank. Online at firstfederalbanking.com. Please support the local businesses that help us bring you this production.
All right, welcome back here to Phil Waybright Gymnasium. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's coverage here on RTC TV4. Steve Stricker with Chris Stevens, and we got Mike Bushman over here. We're doing some training with our new crew from Culver, and tonight we've got coverage of the Argos Lady Dragons and the Culver Lady Cavs in a varsity volleyball matchup.
As you mentioned earlier, this being the famous Phil Waybright Gymnasium, I have a history with Phil. He was my student teacher when I student taught
really?
Out of college. So I got to spend 16 weeks in Phil's classroom, which in hindsight I'm super glad about.
Yeah. I don't know him really well. I have got a chance to meet him, and pretty amazing guy. All right, so we're going to get our national anthem here and then get set with both teams. All right, so the starting lineups have been announced on the roster. Number what was Katie Hoffman? She wasn't on the roster, but she's a starter for the Lady Dragons. I'll have to wait and see when they break here for it. But we got Kendall Ferguson wearing number 6, Dreamer Richard wearing number 8, Aaliyah Schaefer wearing number 9, Chandel Parker wearing 13, Sierra Schnitz wearing 10, and then Katie Hoffman, and she's wearing number 12.
For the Cavaliers, we got number 9, Jenna Moyes, and number 3, Maddie Shedrow, number 5, Alex Timmy, number 6, Brooke Sellers, number 4, Sarah Morrison, and I forgot to mention earlier, Serena Eckride, who plays the libero position for the Cavaliers, is coming in for the start of the game.
All right, so we talked the other day. I did actually my first ever call on a volleyball game. I was down at Rochester doing a game versus Lewis Cass, or a match, and it was kind of fun because Scott was texting me information about different stuff, libero being one of them. I knew the position, but I didn't really understand what it did, and so there's a lot of neat stuff that goes on here in a volleyball match.
Yes.
And the Dragons with the serve, and they get on the board first here with the point. Chandel Parker serving as we get going.
And you always factor in the interpretation of the rules. I know you, being a basketball guy, will appreciate what the one considers a travel nowadays, and we have something similar in volleyball. Is that a bad set, or is that a push?
Yes. That one there goes out of bounds and a side out for the Cavaliers, and we're all even at 1. Madison Shedrow is going to start off for the Cavs. Flat serve there, but it hits the top of the net, and it's going to go back over. Dragons take the point. That was another thing that we were talking about too, was the implementation of the rally scoring.
Yes.
Back when we were in school, it had to be on the serve. And there's a nice serve by number 10 for the Dragons. That's Sierra Schnitz, and she gets the point. Dragons lead 3-1 here early.
Got the Cavaliers on their heels a little bit. And it's interesting you mentioned the rally rule. We did a game in P the other day where you had to score to serve, and it was a foreign concept to the kids.
the old rules. And that one was tipped and goes out of bounds, so the point goes to the Dragons. The sophomore Sierra Schnitz with a nice left-handed serve here for the Dragons.
Southpaw.
Yeah, doing well on the serve. Big hit going across, dug out. Parker with the set. A little miscommunication there with the Dragons, and it's going to fall to the floor. And so the side out goes back to the Cavs.
Sarah Morrison with a nice hit there.
Yeah, it was a good solid hit. It was dug nicely, but unfortunately the Dragons got a little confused on the after the set. Parker doing the setting. Nice block there for the Cavs.
Alex Timmy.
Timmy, one of those that we talked about that's doing very well on the hardwood in the winter as well.
Yes. It's a nice serve by our exchange student, Emily Solstad.
That was an amazing serve, actually, because I was talking to Ryan Sieber, before the game, and he is the the host
family,
for her, and he said she'd never played before. If she's never played before, that was an amazing serve.
Absolutely. She's come a long way. They made sure she got here a couple weeks early before school started and got her hit the ground running.
And a pass misplayed there by the Dragons.
Have number 6, Brooklyn Sellers, coming into the game for the Cavaliers.
It's hard to imagine. I don't recognize some of these girls here for the Dragons. As small as the school as it is, you'd think I would know everybody, but there's a couple.
Looks like we have a rotation issue against the Cavaliers.
So does that result in a side out?
Yes, it will It will cost the Cavaliers a point. And it looks like Coach Barron's getting an explanation exactly who was out of rotation.
When you get into the varsity ranks, it's kind of a, organized chaos, if
Absolutely.
you will.
You're getting girls in positions to in their rotation, but to get to the place that you want them on the court as soon as the ball's served.
Yeah. Nice serve there by Aaliyah Schaefer. Some of these girls, seniors here, wow, making me feel old here. I didn't realize she was a senior already. And that one's going to sail a little bit long out of bounds, and it's going to give the ball back to the Cavs now. Morrison
will be serving for the Cavaliers.
Dragons leading here in the first set, 7-5. Morrison with a rocket right down the pipe, and Dragons just watched that one go.
I don't know if she'll break it out tonight, but she does have a pretty vicious jump serve. She just doesn't go to it very often.
Yeah.
Obviously for percentage reasons.
Well, when you serve like that, you don't need to go to it all the time. And there's 2 aces in a row for Morrison, and evens the score here at 7. And the Dragons are going to have to find a way to break the serve here of the senior Morrison, or she might just finish this out the way she's serving.
1 or 2 more of these, and I would imagine a timeout by the Dragons to try to maybe ice Sarah a little bit.
Well, there's 3 in a row. We're going to have a rotation sub. Number 14 is going to check in for the Dragons for Kendall Ferguson. I don't have her number.
Her number's on the JV roster is Kaylee Bradley, but I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. Morrison again with the point on serve.
4 in a row now, and puts the Cavs up 9-7. Five in a row, she came in 7-5, and just like that, the Cavs take the 10-7 lead. We got a timeout here on the floor, and we'll take a quick break. You're watching RTC TV4's coverage of Argos Lady Dragons volleyball, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by these local sponsors. Evans Agency in Rochester, offering farm liability, farm personal property, and farm outbuilding policies, all customized to fit your insurance needs. Let Judy help you protect all of your possessions. Online at evansagencyrochester.com. The lawyers and staff at Peterson, Wagoner & Perkins LLP are here to provide the highest quality legal and professional service to their clients presently and for the future. See a full list of services online at peterson-wagoner.com. Please support the local businesses that help us bring you this production.
Left side. All right, welcome back here to RTC TV4 and our coverage of Lady Dragons volleyball. And Dragons call a timeout after 5 straight points from Morrison. Able to return that serve.
Dragons got a nice 3 hits on that. Played a free ball to the back line.
Well, they got one step farther than they've been able to for the first 5 serves, so we'll see if they can break the serve here of Morrison. Senior Morrison doing well. 6 in a row here for the Cavs. Sends that one into the net. Well, that's one way to break the serve. You just run out of serves there, and the Dragons get the point and get the serve. Dreama Richard going to take the serve for the Dragons, a junior. Nice serve. That one just went over the net and died right down into the floor. That was a beautiful top spin serve there for Richard.
Found the center of the court.
So just like that, Dragons back within 2. Set tight to the net.
Played to the back row, going to be a free ball for the Cavs.
And that's going to be 4 hits for the Dragons. Unfortunately, that first play was the wrong direction. Misplayed there by the Dragons and kind of put them in a pickle.
Yeah, that's why that first pass in volleyball is so important, and so many coaches talk about being in a position to get that first pass up.
Alex Timmy, the junior, here with the serve. Nice looking serve, and it finds the floor. So the Dragons struggling here to return. Now with Timmy on the serve, Dragons trail 13-9. Timmy gets another one to go down. Richard tried to dig that one out and was unsuccessful. Free ball across, and Morrison can't handle it, and the Dragons will get the serve back. And this Argos-Culver rivalry, you know, Chris, doesn't matter. You talk about it in basketball with the bell game. And there's a nice, that looked like a rough set there, but they let it go.
I agree.
Good volley here. Free ball across. Dragons set it up. Tight to the net, gets it over.
Shedrow gets the first pass up.
And that's going to land inbounds.
Drops it in.
So good volley right there between both teams, and the Cavs come up with it. And the libero Eckright's going to come in and take the serve here for the Cavs. And that was going to sail along for Serena, and it's going to give the Dragons the ball back. It looks like Shandell Parker is going to take the serve. And started to say, you know, this rivalry, you look at it, you know, Culver and Argos, whatever they play in, soccer, you know, volleyball, basketball, it doesn't matter. It's always a fun game.
Absolutely. And it's just the proximity of the two towns. I mean, we're 10 miles apart.
Yep.
The kids know each other. They play together most of their lives against each other. So there's definitely a rivalry, and then there's some camaraderie there also.
Yeah, and it, you know, both schools, you know, very small schools, and they kind of, you know, feel each other's ups and downs, and, you know, the highs and the lows.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about small schools and athletics, and talent's just sometimes cyclical, and numbers are cyclical, so you never know how long it's going to be before you get that new patch of talent or numbers in.
Yeah. Well, you look at Culver, you know, a few years ago with that group that they had going through in basketball, and they, you know, kind of cycled through and struggled a little bit the last couple of years. They seem to be on the upswing, and Dragons are kind of in the same boat. You know, new coach this year, and
yep.
So, you know, we'll see what he can do to infuse some energy, but yeah, it's not like your Penns and Plymouths and, you know, those, you know, where you expect good groups out of every class.
That's where the youth programs become so important. If you want to stay competitive on an annual basis, you have to have a pretty serious youth program.
Yeah, you know that as well as anybody, coming from the girls soccer ranks over there with, you know, what did you guys have, 2 or 3 years? 2 years?
We collapsed after having a program since, what, the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And numbers can do that to you, and we're glad to get the program back up and running.
Yeah, it was good to see, you know, even from a competitive standpoint, you know, it's always good when you can be competitive and have these games. That one sails out on the Dragons. So Cavs taking a commanding 20-11 lead here in the first set. Shedrow back at the serve for the Cavaliers. Nice dig there.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And wow, that was a good result for the Dragons off of a nice dig by Richard. And a good second hit by Parker. And Is that Hoffman that came in and put that one away?
Found that hole in the middle of Culver's lineup there in the center.
Nice one. That's another rule change in the last few years with that tip off of the net on the serve. That used to be an illegal serve. So the Dragons take advantage of that.
Nice little spot shot by Schnitz there.
Sophomore here for the Dragons. Nice. Oh, it must have been into the net. That pass actually sailed over, and Richard spiked it back, but she got into the net, giving it over to the Cavs. So Solstad's going to serve. That's a nice serve. Never played volleyball before. Wow.
Correct. She played handball, which is something most Americans are not familiar with.
And jump ball. Well, I never seen that in volleyball.
I believe that means a reserve. It's a redo. Something you don't find too often in athletics is a redo.
It sounded like maybe the ref said he blew his whistle inadvertently or something. So I suppose handball would be similar in, serves, right?
Yeah, handball, you're technically throwing a ball into a goal. So if you can imagine like a cross between like water polo, if you're familiar with jumping and throwing in. So yeah, you use your height and you're jumping over the opposing athlete to throw it into the net. So her approach to the net is different, where she goes off of one leg, whereas here we train our volleyball players to go off of two, generally speaking.
Good dig there by Hoffman.
Shedrow tries to play it over. Argos answers and finds the middle of the floor again.
That was a nice kill there by Richard, getting the point for the Dragons. Argos is looking decent. They're very competitive here in the early going, 22-14.
Been a couple different times where Culver's tried to run away with it with the serve, but they just keep clawing back. And yeah, and like you said, Argos and Culver, they're always going to play each other hard.
Yeah. So that serve sails out of bounds.
Brings our southpaw up to serve for Culver, number 9, Jenna Moyes.
Set goes over, and a nice hit back by Eckrite, and drops that one in for match point. Set point. I always get that confused. It's set point. We're not quite to the match point yet. Moyes trying to put this one away here for the Cavs, and looks like, nice hustle, but too far back into the backcourt for the Dragons, and that's going to do it for set number 1. Dragons take that, or Cavaliers take that one, 25-14. Take a break and come back with more Argos Lady Dragons volleyball here on RTC TV4.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by these local sponsors. Blue Dragon Taekwondo. Whether you want to learn self-defense, physical cross-training, or looking to compete in national tournaments, Blue Dragon Taekwondo is the area's leading martial arts authority. Online at tkdbluedragon.com. RTC Fiber Communications. Stay connected with the fastest internet speeds available with RTC Fiber Communications. Voice, data, and video connectivity for the 21st century. Local service, local support, local investment. Online at rtc1.com. Please support the local businesses that help us bring you this production.
All right, welcome back here to Phil Waybright Gymnasium, where we're getting set for set number 2 here between the Cavs and the Dragons. And very competitive first set. Culver pulls out the 25-14 victory over the Lady Dragons in the first set. So, did you see Dan walking by there? That's our new basketball coach, Dan Dewar, just walked across the floor there.
Where is he coming in from?
He's from Plymouth. He's a long-time assistant coach at several different levels up at Plymouth, and we're excited. He brings a lot of energy to the floor, and he has a passion for the game. He has a passion for the kids, and I've coached against him at the elementary level quite a bit over the summers at the zone. And it didn't matter what kind of talent level he had. The girls always played very, very hard for him. And we're excited that he's here. And love Coach Teal to death. But Coach Dewar, going to bring in some new energy here for the Lady Dragons this fall, winter.
Well, if you can get, as a coach, if you can get your athletes to play hard, then that's half the battle.
Yep. You know that. I know that. And the numbers were down a bit last year, so we'll see where we're at with the numbers. We had our own, bad injury over the summer with Macy Morris going down, talented junior, as well as Emma Kruger's a junior as well, right?
Yes.
So, and they actually went down the same night.
Oh, goodness.
And Emma, I believe, went down. It might have been the same game. I think they were playing. I mean, it was those fluke things.
It was before the Lafayette AYBT tournament.
Yeah, it was up at Plymouth at the zone, and I know it happened the same night. And they didn't think at first that Macy was a tear. They thought it was a meniscus, and then come to find out it was. And so we wish her and Emma both the best as they recover.
Absolutely.
All right, so getting set to go here for the second set between the Cavs and the Dragons, and looks like Shedrow's going to be working her way back and possibly taking the first serve here. Cavs going to start things off for us here in set number 2. Steve Stricker here with Chris Stevens from Culver and Mike Bushman from Culver. We're working on, training our new crew over there. You guys are really taking control of everything for us, and we love what's going on and excited to finally get our broadcasting into the school over there.
Well, absolutely, and thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to get nice hit.
Big left-handed shot there from Schnitz. Puts that one down for the first point for the Dragons.
And we appreciate the opportunity to get games like this out to people who, for whatever reason, can't make it to the game, grandmas or aunts and uncles that live out of state, and they have the opportunity to be able to tune in and watch their family member or friend play. That's just outstanding.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable, and I've been doing it here at Argos for the last 4 seasons, and there's a ball going to sail out of bounds for Morrison, and Dragons take the 2-0 lead. Did it for 4 years up here, and recently took a full-time position down at RTC TV4. And the next phase of this, getting you guys and getting the Pioneers and the North Miamis and the Winnemacs and those guys on board is fun. It's exciting, and I always enjoyed, doing the games and getting those texts and getting those Facebook posts. Hey, I'm watching from Central America, I'm watching from Europe, I'm watching from Western United States. It's great to know that people are, tuning in to watch your kids from all over the world.
Absolutely.
Parker doing well here. 2 nice serves for Shandell. Dragons starting off set number 2 in the right direction. That one's going to sail out. Give the ball over to the Cavs.
Going to bring up Solstad for the Cavaliers to serve.
Dragons in front 3-1. She just serves it like she's been doing it forever. It's just amazing.
And a nice dig right there. I mean, that's a nice dig for any volleyball player.
Shedrow the set.
Nice hit.
And
nice dig.
Beautiful dig.
A nice second pass as well. Shedrow with the left fisted up.
Beautiful volley right here for both teams. The left tip. Moist tried to go free across and goes into the net, and Dragons get that. That was a hard-earned point for the Dragons right there. That's got to work for their confidence right there, being able to get that point.
And a good volley to watch as a spectator.
Yes. Schnitz with that left serve, and that drops in for an ace. Dragons coming out here in set number 2 and taking control early, leading 5-1. But we saw that in the first set. You know, the tide can turn quickly. Another nice serve there from the lefty. Free ball, Eckrite. That I don't know.
Timmy, I believe.
Timmy, yeah, sorry. Eckrite's the libero. Yep. But Dragons played that. It looked like it might have been.
Good set.
There's Eckrite. Oh, the wrong direction on that set. That's unfortunate there. It was a good volley going on. Schaefer just hit it a little hard with the right hand instead of the left, and pass went the wrong direction.
Brooklyn Sellers substitutes in for Emily Solstad for the Cavaliers as Jenna Moyes sends one over.
First pass tight to the net, and Chandel can't handle it. So just like that, the Cavs coming back, trailing by 2 now. Moyes with the serve. That one sails long on Timmy.
A little miscommunication there with the short set by Shedrow to Morris.
Ferguson with the serve for the Dragons. Dragons serving the ball or setting the ball is kind of traveling the wrong way. It makes it a little tougher on that. Then the other side, you're having the same opposite issue with the Cavs. That set was a little tight for Shedrow, but the Cavs able to get it over.
Timmy with the final hit on that.
So Morrison with the serve here. We'll see what the Dragons can do. Got a little moisture on the floor here. I was a little surprised. I did the, like I said, the Rochester volleyball game, and it was just humid. And I walked down after the game, and I about fell on my butt. The floor was just so slick. I didn't know it was like that. The girls were playing very well on it, but Shedrow goes ahead and sends it over. Set from Parker, and that goes in. That's a nice kill there for number 2 from Argos. Don't know for sure who that is.
And a good point for Argos to get to break Morrison's serve.
Yeah, she really did some damage in that first set against the Dragons. Nice serve across for Schaefer. And Moyes sends it into the net, so good point there for the Dragons. Getting 2 points after Culver had drawn to within 2. Now back up to an 8-4 lead here for Argos. Ooh, nice shot from distance, and Dragons can't return it.
Timmy up to serve for the Cavaliers. A nice 3-pass look there to Shedrow at the end. She just goes along with the spike.
Richard with a nice serve, playing that right side.
Good pass, good set.
Parker.
Free ball to Cavaliers. Timmy to Sellers, and can't be handled by the Dragons. Miscommunication.
I'm going to check with my crack film cameraman Phil Dean here, see if I can get the lowdown on who number 2 is for the Dragons. Nice block. And unfortunately for Schnitz, not able to get that one back over. That was a big block there for Schnitz. No, it's not her. I know her, and that's not her. Samantha Rose is actually setting on, looks like she's wearing number 7, so we were trying to reference the JV roster. Phil was no help on that.
Number 2 takes a big hit at it, sends it long. Point to the Cavaliers.
Cavs back to within 1 now, trailing 9-8. Eckrite on the serve. And nice serve there, not returnable. Ferguson can't get it back. Cavs fought all the way back here and tie it at 9. The ball goes into the bleacher area, and apparently it came out with some moisture on it. Oh. Okay, Maddie DeWolf, number 2. She's listed as number 0, so just changed the jersey number. Thank you, Tony Dean.
Eckrite back for the Cavaliers to serve. Nice second pass bump and finish by Argos. Good dig by Shedro.
Eckrite with the serve, 11 serving 9. And that is Samantha Rose, not able to return that. So the Cavs with the 3-point lead now. Eckrite still has the serve here for the Lady Cavs. Shedro switched roles that time with Temi and couldn't get it across. The ball goes back over to the Dragons. Ferguson comes back in for Rose, and that one sails way long for DeWolf. Didn't know her own strength on that one. Shedro looks like she's getting ready to go serve for the Cavs. Cavs with a 13-10 lead here. Set number 2, Cavs 1. Set number 1, 25-14. Parker gets it across. Nice set. Good dig. Free ball, good job there for Parker. Shedro sets it, and that one's going to sail out of bounds for Morrison. Nice little volley there, Chris.
Yeah. Cavaliers trying to get the set to their big hitter Morrison there. Just had an errant set. 2-point differential.
Another one goes into the net for Eckrite. I know enough about volleyball to know that setting is probably not something I would enjoy. I mean, you are going 100%, all the time, trying to find the right angle, get the right pass.
That second hit is your responsibility to track down.
And you never know where it's going to go off of the first one.
Nice hit by Timmy from the back line.
Oh, mishit that time for Ferguson. Beautiful set from Parker.
So much timing required in this sport.
Yep.
Timmy going to decide to go for 3 hits here. It's going to end up being a free ball to the Dragons.
Set goes the wrong way for Parker and not able to get it back across the Wolf. So Solstad with another serve here. Dragons or Cavaliers ahead 15-12. Nice left. Another left, big hit that time for Schnitz. I tell you what, I've not watched the Dragons play this year. Schnitz is a big hitter.
Yeah, when she gets that ball in her wheelhouse, she's bringing it hard down.
Yeah, she's able to get up high enough to be able to come down on that kill. And the left hand, I think it throws you off a little bit on the other side.
She's got some nice downspin on her serve.
Yeah. Brings the Dragons back to within 1. That one didn't get any spin and unfortunately falls long for Schnitz. And Moist going back to set the serve now for the Cavs. Cavs up 14-16 or 16-14 now over the Dragons in set number 2. That one just died. That was a beautiful serve.
Jenna Moyes does a great job at spot serving, so you should probably get her directions from Coach Barron over there where Coach Barron wants the ball to be placed.
Ooh, that one looked a little...
Last minute change of mind on whether she wanted to bump or set the ball from the back line.
Low set. And Schaefer can't get it across, so the Cavs get the point. 18-14. Another miss hit there by the Dragons. Ferguson that time couldn't get it across.
Moist still serving.
Southpaw for the Cavs doing well with those serves. Finding the holes. And we're going to get a timeout here for the Dragons as they trail 20-14. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Argos Lady Dragons Volleyball on RTC TV4.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by these local sponsors. Blue Dragon Taekwondo. Whether you want to learn self-defense, physical cross-training, or looking to compete in national tournaments, Blue Dragon Taekwondo is the area's leading martial arts authority. Online at tkdbluedragon.com. RTC Fiber Communications. Stay connected with the fastest internet speeds available with RTC Fiber Communications. Voice, data, and video connectivity for the 21st century. Local service, local support, local investment. Online at rtc1.com. Please support the local businesses that help us bring you this production.
All right, welcome back. Coming out of the timeout here, Moise still with the serve for the Cavs. She's got 5 of them go down.
Is that Tammy Shedra right down there? Okay, I thought so.
And nice block by Timmy. So the Cavs are rolling here in the second set, trying to go up 2-0 over the Dragons. Free ball comes across. Shedra with the set and just sails out of bounds for Timmy. And they break Moise's serve here.
This would be a great time for Argos to make a move here.
Kendall Ferguson going to take the serve now for the Dragons. Dragons trying to dig out of the hole, and that's not going to help. Eckrite finds the hole right in the middle of the Dragons' defense.
And probably not who you want to see coming up to serve for the Dragons. Sarah Morrison.
Yeah, she has a good opportunity right here to put this thing away, leading 22-15. Well, the Dragons do a nice job of getting that serve returned. Left hand, and that, Morrison probably could have let that one go. It looked like it was going to go out of bounds, but she plays it, and that's good for the Dragons as they're able to break her with no points.
One of those situations as an athlete where you just make a instinctual decision.
Yep. Schaefer with a nice serve here for the Dragons. Parker, and good job, good hustle by Shedro. And Morrison unable to get up enough to get on top of that. Looked like she mistimed her jump just a little bit. Dragons fighting back, 17-22. Nice serve.
Nice serve.
And that one's just kind of a set shot. I don't know what you'd call that, but sails out of bounds for DeWolf.
She knew what spot she wanted to hit, though.
Yeah, she was looking for that gap over here on the near side, but unfortunately just got a little too hard. Timmy's going to serve now here for the Cavs. And,
goes wide right.
Yeah, just a bit outside.
Keeping the Dragons alive here to make a last-minute run.
So number 8, Richard. Nice serve. That's going to go up. Can you play that?
I didn't hear a whistle. I know at Culver, if it hits our basketball rim, it's immediately called dead. So the rule here must be, and it shows my lack of knowledge of volleyball here. It must be hometown.
I don't know. Nice serve again. And that's trouble for the Cavs. Able to get it across. Parker with the set.
Free ball to the Cavs. Timmy sets for Shedro. Sets the ball over. DeWolf for Argos. Moise to Shedro. Free ball to the Dragons.
Beautiful volley here. Oh, what a play by Shedro. Miscommunication. DeWolf.
Nice hit and a nice dig, but it appears
Culver's in the net. Looks like the Cavs. I thought maybe the Dragons were going to get called for in the net. So the Dragons battling back here, 23-20, off of some really nice serves by Richard. Gets that one down as well. That's trouble for the Cavs.
Going to be a free ball to the Dragons. Bump set and
Ooh. Currently, you can only go so far. They called her out of bounds. She did a nice job of hustling over there and getting that one. So, set point here for Eckrite, 24-20. DeWolf from the back row and goes into the net. So after battling back, getting to 23-20, the Cavs able to get the final two and take set number 2, 25-20 for a 2-0 lead. We're going to take a break. They're going to switch sides. I'm going to give my headset over to Mr. Mike.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by these local sponsors. RTC Fiber Communications. Stay connected with the fastest internet speeds available with RTC Fiber Communications. Voice, data, and video connectivity for the 21st century. Local service, local support, local investment. Online at rtc1.com. First Federal Savings Bank is your local mortgage lender with 6 locations throughout north central Indiana. Trust the professionals at First Federal Savings Bank. Online at firstfederalbanking.com. Please support the local businesses that help us bring you this production.
All right, welcome back here. Chris got a little happy on the buttons, but we're getting set to go for match or set number 3. I'm going to turn my headset over to Mike Bushman, and Mike and Chris are going to be on the call this Friday over at Culver for the football game as they take on the West Central Trojans. So we're going to give them some training opportunity right here as we go into set number possibly. Set number 3 is all right. That was okay. We got a good catch on the camera. Everything's good. Okay, I can breathe. All right, here's Mike Bushman and Chris Stevens for set number 3 between Culver and Argos.
Welcome, Mr. Bushman. Exciting to have you after that little camera.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. That doesn't bode well. If we get it out of the way early, gonna test RTC's personal injury liability. I don't know.
So we're coming back in here. We got about a minute left here. We're going into the third set here between Argos and Culver. Culver's up 2-0 on the Dragons, but the Dragons have come in and they've been giving us some fight and some competition. As we talked about earlier, there's always that rivalry. Even though the Dragons are searching for that first win, they're always going to play Culver hard.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, when you watch a sport like volleyball. It looks like Culver's up 2-0. It's kind of a runaway, but even with the kind of lopsided score of the first game, each of the points have been very competitive. These two teams don't care to get down on the floor, run around, that sort of thing.
Turn his volume down a little bit on my headset. Just made a few audio changes there as Mr. Bushman is much more well-spoken and enunciates a little better than I do, so I was just getting turned down a bit.
Bring in the boom voice.
So as the clock winds down here, we're going to enter our third set here between the Lady Dragons and the Cavaliers. I believe the serve is going to go to Argos. So just to give you a little background on Mr. Mike Bushman, he's a lifetime Culver native. Just come back to Culver from teaching in Knox for a few years, and he is the varsity wrestling coach at Culver Community, and you can probably expect him to be calling various activities and various games for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to this season, trying this thing out. Chandel Parker on the serve here.
Culver gets it back in 3. Schnitz with the push over. Both teams trying to find a little rhythm here, I think, to start the set. Point goes to the Cavaliers, and Maddie Shedrow will be serving for the Lady Cavs. Good serve by Shedrow, handled well by the Dragons.
The Dragons have been handling these good serves well since about halfway through that first game. They made some good adjustments.
Ball is shot long there. I didn't catch the number, Mike. I don't know who sent that long, but Shedrow's back to serve.
I believe it was number 2 there. Maddie DeWolf?
Yes. Nice serve by Shedrow. The Wolf had a hard time handling that in the back row. Point to Culver for an early 3-0 lead here. But the Dragons have been fighting back all night.
He slings another dart in there. Sends DeWolf to the deck. Nice hustle, but couldn't get it up over the net.
Well set up there by the Dragons, just unable to execute there on the hit. Free ball to the Cavaliers. Shedrow sets Morrison for a nice hit and a nice dig by the Dragons. Free ball sent to the Dragons. They're going to use all 3 of their hits here. Nice shot to the back row, handled by Shedrow to Timmy. Back to Shedrow for the free ball for the Dragons.
Opportunity here for Argos to get one down.
Morrison called in.
I know it's easier said than done, but the times Argos has been able to pull Morrison's up off the ground and get them over, that always catches the Lady Cavs off guard. They're not used to Sarah's spikes being returned back.
Free ball to the Lady Cavs. Morrison to Shedrow. Moist for the free ball to the Dragons.
An opportunity here for Argos. Get something set up, put something down here.
The way Schnitz has been hitting the ball, number 10 for Argos, a sophomore, I'd be obviously trying to find her and get her a good set, get some momentum change here.
Schnitz here on the serve.
Ooh. Nice serve, just barely over the net.
Oh,
nice job by the Lady Cavs. Eckrite with that dig and a miss hit by DeWolf. Solstad serves in, played up by Schnitz. Second, third hit by the Dragons, free to Culver. Shedrow with the set and spike by Timmy, handled by the Dragons.
Little miss set there.
Great effort to get that third hit over.
So it's a lot of good pieces of what Argos is doing on their side. They just can't seem to get all 3 hits solid. And that's where they made their move last game. They got several points in a row. They started putting those things together. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, definitely some positives to look at. Steve and I were talking earlier, Mike, about Emily's, this being her first year. Emily Solstad from Culver, our exchange student.
Picked it up
first year
quickly.
ever playing volleyball, and she's picked it up quite well.
He's just going to make the comment. This is going to be an important long volley for Argos here. They've kind of been 50-50 on those, but this set right here, they've had a hard time with those long volleys. And with the kind of hitters that Culver's bringing, Argos is going to have to make their hay when the ball's going back and forth.
Varsity coach Rachel Schaefer doing a nice job of instructing her student athlete over there on the bench.
This is a chance here to get something put down.
Push, Shedrow digs it out of the ground, it's into the net, and point to the Dragons.
If I'm Argos, that's where I'm looking to put it about every time. Dropping those right in front of the net like that, Cavs kind of have a hard time handling. They do a pretty good job digging out in the back row, that sort of thing, but those dinkers over the net, they have a hard time with those sometimes.
Ferguson serves short into the net for the Dragons, giving service to Culver, an 11-2 lead. Jenna Moyes back serving for the Cavaliers. First ball's up, set, and the hit from Argos. Looks like they're asking for a tip, and there was a tip. Point goes to the Dragons. Culver back and serve receive.
Leah Schaefer on the serve here. Good serve there.
Handled by Eckwright, but over in one. Eckwright gets a chance to start it here, sets to Shedrow. Poked over by Timmy. Parker tries to send a two-handed set over the net, falls short. Service back to the Cavaliers with Sarah Morrison.
She got out of the sunlight a little bit there.
And Morrison goes long. Point to Dragons.
I feel like if Argos is going to take a chance to get back in this game, now is the time to make a move. They just dodged a bullet there, only having to face one Sarah Morrison serve. So put some points on the board here. We can be in for a good game 3.
Free ball to the Dragons. The Wolf on the hit, goes a little long. Alex Timmy now back to serve for the Cavaliers. 14 serving 4. Some miscommunication there. Dragons get the ball up on the first touch and little miscommunication on the second hit. Looks like Hoffman is substituting back into the game. Timmy serves in, handled by the Dragons. Schnitz on the hit, handled by Moyes. Bump set to Shedrow, punches it over. Deflection. Point is good for the Cavaliers. 16 serving 4 now. Timmy back to serve. And she serves short into the net.
Maddie DeWolf here to serve. Again, Argos trying to get something going here, put up a few points, maybe get the double digits before turning the service back over.
It was a good attempt. Nice hard serve by DeWolf. Just fell a little short. She does hit the ball well. Small in stature, but she's hitting the ball hard. Ball's up close to the net for the Cavaliers. Dragons return. Shedro with the first hit. Solstad brings it over to the Dragons. Handled and returned by Schnitz. Moist sets to Solstad. Argos returns. Schnitz again. Set close to the net. Cavaliers not able to dig it.
Again, those balls up close to the net, Lady Cavs have a hard time with.
Coach Barrett is diligently writing down notes over on the sideline between each play.
Good aggressive serve, tough to handle there. Chanel Parker go back again, try to get one over.
Serves in. Shedro with the first touch to Timmy. Solstad over. Back row of the Dragons. Sets up. Pushed over by the Dragons. Shedro dumps it over.
It's a good dig.
Unable to pull that out. Too close to the net again. So the Dragons will retain the serve. The score is 8, serving 17. Eckwright to Timmy, to Moise for the hit. Dug by the Dragons. Sets up. Send it over for a free pass. Timmy to Solstad again. And some miscommunication there by the Dragons. I'd like to take this opportunity again to thank RTC Mike for allowing us the opportunity to do this, to train us. Thanks to Argos for giving us the space here in Phil Waybright Gymnasium to do some training here with the Cavaliers against the Dragons.
It's an exciting opportunity for our local sports, being able to get this stuff out. Now they're closer into the net. Very generous of Argos to allow 2 Cavaliers here in the microphone. Doing our best to give unbiased coverage here.
Absolutely. Schnitz back for the serve. Nice
very
spot.
Well placed. Very well placed.
Untouched ace for Schnitz. Brings him to double digits, 10-19.
If Argos can find some good hits here, because this is the point a lot of... Oh, that's rough. This is a point where Culver's at a lot of times teams will start to just hope the other team makes mistakes enough to win the game, because they're just 5 Argos mistakes away from this win.
And Schnitz, only a sophomore. She's got nowhere to go but up. Expect big things from her in the next couple of years, I would imagine. Nice hit by Timmy there again. Falls deep.
Out.
Here comes Argos. Serena with the first touch. Shedro dumps it in.
It was out of bounds. I think she nearly had a bad hit anyhow, so I think that got a little messed up from get-go. Good hit by Schnitz. Again, tough to handle there for Sarah. Cavaliers get it back over.
Nice up by Solstad.
It's been a good volley here.
Set by Eckwright. DeWolf takes a hit, sends it to the middle of the floor. Dug by Solstad. Timmy on the hit, places it nicely in open space. Points to the Cavaliers. Moise is short into the net, giving the Dragons the serve.
Good delivery by Schaefer. Handled well, though.
Nice hit by Timmy. Dug by the Dragons. Free ball into the back. It's close, and it's out.
Richard gets it over. Nice dig out there. Gonna try to get a good hit here. Pop right back over by Argos. Staying aggressive. The Dragons trying to hang in it.
Once again, I'd like to thank Steve Stricker and RTC and Argos for allowing us to have this training opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Stricker here so he can do the appropriate and proper outro for the game.
Goes out of bounds. Cavaliers 2 points away now. Dragons trying to get something going. Try to keep this thing alive.
All right, Mike. So Friday night, we're going to turn you and Chris loose. So you guys ready to roll?
Hey, we're
feeling good about this?
We'll be ready.
All right.
We're ready to rock and roll.
I've always told everybody it's not necessarily that you have to know everything you're talking about. Just sound like you do, right?
I'd be a good faker. That's true.
Yes. Well, we have match point now here for the Cavs.
Natalie Stevens served up a acer there, looking to close this thing out.
Well, we take the headset away from Chris right when.
I know. Give him a chance to go watch his girl.
And looks like trouble for the Dragons.
Aces, and that'd be a Cavalier victory.
Yep, that's going to do it. They're going to win set number 3 by a final of 25-15. So Cavs sweep the Dragons 25-14, 25-20, 25-15. And you guys can catch this crew that we had here this evening, Mike Bushman and Chris Stevens, coming up here on Friday. They're going to be calling the game for us up at Culver, and they're going to be taking on the West Central Trojans. Cavs looking for their first win, struggling so far, and not struggling. I mean, they're playing really well. Just a lot of injuries.
Well, and that knock score is tough. I was talking to somebody, said, "Ooh, they 6 times them." That wasn't the game. I mean, it was 15-6, and Cavs had the ball in the fourth quarter. It just and it goes that way sometimes. And does in all sports. We were talking in this game here, the third game notwithstanding, the first 2 games, a lot of good, strong volleys. It's just not falling the way the Dragons wanted to. And that's kind of the way it's been going for Cavalier football. They did good sustained drives, good plays on defense. Just when the ball's got to bounce one way or the other, it's been bouncing the other.
Yep. And they're looking to get off the schneid. West Central's doing well this year, 2-1.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be an easy game for the Cavs. They're going to have a challenge in front of them, but Coach Zahner's going to have the boys ready. So we're looking forward to you guys doing that. We got some more exciting action coming your way this week. On Thursday night, we're going to have some doubleheader action. We'll have the Argos Lady Dragons soccer team as they host the Culver Girls Academy here at Argos. And then I will be down at Rochester as the Rochester Zebras volleyball team will be taking on the Southwood Knights in a TRC battle. So got some good stuff coming up, and then we got a full slate on Friday. We'll get more information on what we got coming up on Friday. But West Central at Culver. We also are looking at a couple other games. We're going to check some connectivity things tomorrow, and we'll get more out to you on that. So For Mike Bushman, Chris Stevens, Steve Stricker saying goodnight here from Argos Community High School, where the Cavs take the match 3-0. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to RTC TV4's coverage of Argos Lady Dragons volleyball.